Okay, let's see if this works. And looks like we're getting set up here. Okay. Wait just a few minutes, try to get things set up. I will be right back in a jiffy. Looks like I'm having some connection issues, but I think we're live. So let me get on here so I can see who pops on. So give me just 1 minute and then we'll get started. We'll get started in just 1 minute. Let's see. I'm getting my computer on so that I can see who pops on and see any comments. So just give me 1 minute. I'll get there. We'll get started in just 1 minute. Hi, Sass by Dessa. How are you? I'm getting my computer on so that I can see who pops on and see any comments. Okay. So just give me 1 minute. I'll get there. I'm gonna turn this down. We'll get started in just 1 minute. Okay. Hi, Sass by Dessa. How are you? I'm getting my computer on so that I can see who pops on and see any comments. Okay. All right, so let me turn this up. All right. I've got quite a few new things I want to show you guys. And that looks like it's sideways. So let me see if I can turn it. And it looks like my computer's just a few seconds behind my phone. So pardon my mess, but I think you guys can see just a little bit. I've got a few new things I want to play with tonight. So if you're ready to start, and join me this evening, it feels like Friday to me. So grab your favorite drink. I've got Mike's Hard Watermelon Lemonade, which is a favorite of mine in the summer. And we're going to go ahead and get started on some of the fun things I want to show you. I've got new art supplies to play with. I'm going to do some swatching. And so go get your favorite drink. I'd love for you to join me. Feel free to invite your friends. And we will get started in our conversation for tonight. So for those of you that don't know, I have $10 kids art classes, and I have $10 adult art classes that I'm hosting virtually this summer via Zoom. So if you are interested in those classes, you want to head on over to our website at www.smokyfiresidecreations.com. There is a kids classes tab, there is an adult classes tab, and then something that we're bringing back, that's been really popular. It was really popular when we had lots of people in the studio before the pandemic. But I'm doing them virtually now. And so we're going to do they're $1 color chats, and those are virtual. And so what those are going to be, I've had a lot of questions about those, is once you purchase that quote unquote class, I will send you I'll send you electronically the link for the Zoom meeting, and then I will also send you a free downloadable coloring sheet. So if you want to, you can color along with me, or if you're working on something else, feel free to do that. But the dollar color chats are a great way for us just to hang out. I will show you some things that I'm working on. Lots of people share the same thing, like what they're working on too. New projects, stuff coming down the line. Lots of cool, fun new things coming to you virtually via Zoom. So I'm super excited about that. I hope you guys will join in with me. So let's go ahead and get started. I've got some new supplies. I've got some new books. I've got some new markers. So I'm going to show you guys those things. I'm going to do a little demo. And then if you guys have any questions in the meantime, feel free to pop those in the comment box. I'm happy to answer any questions you guys might have. All right, so let me take a drink and we'll get started. Also, I just got these in the mail the other day. I'm super excited about the Quinacridone Oil Pastels, or the Neopastels. I think they're called both the same thing. So Neopastels Oil Pastels, the Quinacridone brand. Super excited to use these in my artwork. You can see, I think you can see. Let me move it over just a little bit. There's 24 beautiful colors. They come in these little sticks. And I am super excited about using those in my work. I'm not sure I'm going to use this. I'm not sure I'm going to keep them in the packaging just because I like to have things out and available for me to use. And I don't like to store things in packaging. I like to have it out and displayed. So I have those to use, and I'm hoping to use those tonight while we're live. I also picked up the Neocolor ones, the Quinacridone Neocolor ones, the set of 30 of them, and these are the ones that are their water resistant wax pastels. So I'm going to use these as a resist in my artwork, so I'm super excited about using these. I also got, I'm running out of room on my little table here, and I might need to move you guys over just a little bit. Okay. I got, for the summer, I actually got these books for my kids, and it's called 500 Creative Prompts, and they're going to work on their writing and things this summer. And so I thought this was a super fun book to not only work with them, it's answer these questions, complete this survey, complete the story, complete the drawing. There's lots of fun little prompts for them to work on their writing, their coloring, their sketching. And I thought this was a super fun book that I found for them that I'm super excited to use and get started with this summer to help them build their writing skills. So that's new. I'm running out of room. I need another little table. Another cool thing that I've made that is coming to the shop are these I Love Traveler's Notebooks. For anybody that knows me, they know I love Traveler's Notebooks, and I love to get people interested in Traveler's Notebooks. So one of the things that I've been making are these patterned paper Traveler's Notebook inserts. That these will actually come as a kit, and so I used a mixture of double-sided papers, single-sided papers, and so it's just a mixture of all kinds of fun little papers for you to stick into your Traveler's Notebook. What I like to use these for are, I like to journal on the blank sides, and either journal, paint, doodle, whichever on the blank sides, and then on the pattern paper sides, I use those as like a little scrapbook. And so like today my kids had a field day, and so I might dedicate a whole journal to field day because I took so many pictures, so many good pictures, and I want to have that documented and kept somewhere so that we can look back, you know, a year from now and be like, oh, okay, that was field day 2021. So that's this notebook. And then again, these will be kits. But I don't have all of the kits put together. I'm just kind of in the beginning stages of getting these together and ready to put into the shop for you guys. So I've got another one. Again, I tried to mix and match papers. This one's upside down. I tried to mix and match papers, fun little papers that would be cool to have as like a little scrapbook journal. And I used to be really big into scrapbooking. More so these days, I am into journaling and putting my thoughts and putting my notes and pictures and things into a journal, and then I just have a box that I keep my journals in. And so again, these will come with, they'll be in a little kit for you guys to pick from. I'll upload them to our website, and then also they will be available in our shop. And so this one has the rose gold florals. This one I did rose gold and purple. This one has this, I believe this one is all double-sided paper minus a few sheets. And so I just think these are really fun and beautiful. Along with these handmade notebook journals, I will also have handmade traveler's notebooks coming to the shop. I really enjoyed making those over Christmas, and I've had a lot of interest, and it does take a lot of work to make one, but that is something that I want to make starting this summer when I've got just a little bit more time to make a few things. And so those will also be coming too. So we'll have handmade journals, handmade notebooks, handmade journal kits. All of those good things are coming, and I will show you guys those when they when I am finished with those. So yes, lots of beautiful papers that I've included in these notebooks. I haven't quite decided on a price, but if you're interested in one already, put a comment in the box in the comment box or send me a message, and then I'm happy to talk with you about if you're interested in one of these notebooks that I already have. They're super fun. I will let you know the measurements of these so that you can figure out if they are going to fit into your journal. These journals that I am making, they will fit into the journals, the traveler's notebooks that I'll have available at the shop. I love this one so much because it says share your story, so I had to have that one as the cover page, obviously, because I believe each of these little journals is a story, and my plan for these is to have one journal, one little notebook at least a month. Whether I'm journaling, I'm doodling, I'm documenting, I'm putting pictures in there. I want to have at the end of the year at least 12 of these little notebooks to show what it is that I did in 2021. Obviously, it's really cool to have a specialized little notebook, like I just mentioned about having one for like the homeschool field day today that my kids had. So obviously that's an option too, and it just adds to the amount of notebooks that you'll have by the end of the year, and I think that's super fun. Okay, so that's the journals that I have that I've been working on. I have used watercolors in these, and because it's not these aren't watercolor paper, but you can still watercolor in them. You just don't want to soak the pages. Obviously it will get a little bit crinkly, but it is possible. So I did want to mention that. we'll have some other little notebooks and things that I am working on. Those are coming. Something else that I thought was fun. I got a bunch of these. A lot of my pit pins dried up, and so I was able to pick up a few new ones. So I've got lots of fun colors. Little highlighter. So I'm excited. I love to use pit pins in my artwork. And some of these are, I believe I got most of them are the smaller brush pens. Some of them are like the actual pen, which is really small. So like I could do journaling or line work or mark making with these. Some of them came in a kit, and like this one's just a really bold marker. So most of the ones that I did get are the brush tips. Excuse me. So yes, lots of cool little brush tips. And then again, these are so much fun to use in mixed media work, which I love to do. And so yes, I'm excited to use these along with so many other little art supplies. So I wanted to show you guys those. All right, moving on. And then if you guys have any questions, again, let me know. Pop those in the comments box. I'm happy to answer any questions you might have. I also picked up, I thought I would show some new coloring books to you that you will be seeing on, if you guys do the color chats, I might be working in one of these. I do already have planned the coloring pages that I'm going to send out, at least for the first few color chats. So I'm super excited about those. And the thing that I really like about the color chats versus doing a live video on Instagram, the color chats are via Zoom. And so I'll be able to see you, you'll be able to see me, and we'll be able to hear and talk to each other versus me just talking to you on an Instagram live video. Okay. So the first book that I got is the Kirby Roseanne's World Within Worlds. And this one has been out, I think this one came out last year. I think last year, yes, 2020. And I have been drooling over this book for so long. I decided to finally get it, and I'm excited to start working in here. And some of the things that I like to do, I don't always like to finish I'm not sure if you can see this. There. I think you can see it a little bit better. I don't always like to do a coloring page from start to finish. I might work on the background one evening. The next morning I might work on a totally different background. I might work on backgrounds of a few different layouts if I'm in the mood to do backgrounds. Then I might go in and work on the next layer of details. Like I said, I don't always like to go through a whole page one at a time. And so you might see little bits and pieces of one layout done and then another layout partially done. The only thing that I would suggest if you do that, if you're like me, what I like to do is just put a little post-it note on the page. And if there's specific colors that you've used, like if I'm going to color this specific cat, and I haven't finished the cat, I might leave a post-it note on my page saying, okay, I used these Staedtler colored pencils, number 175, or like whatever colors I used on the cat. So that way whenever it is that I go back to this layout, I could grab those specific supplies and my colors will match just fine. I really love this layout of the apple. We have apple trees here on our farm, so that might be one of the first ones that I do. I don't know. There's so many beautiful ones that I love, like these pears. I think they're pears anyways. But the little farm scene and the pears, those are fun. Yes, just so many good ones. And if you have colored, let me see. If you have colored, I need to scoot this up. If you have colored in any of the Kirby Roseanne's books, let me know, because I am so in love with this one. And right now my kids are learning about whales, and so this would be a really cool coloring page for them to do. So I might copy this on the printer. And then usually if I copy it on the printer, I print it out on a heavyweight cardstock so that they can use watercolors or markers or pastels or whatever it is they want to use on the coloring pages. Usually a heavyweight cardstock is what I will print out things on for them and for myself too. But there's so many details in these books that there is no possible way that I could do this from start to finish all in one sitting. That's just, they're beautiful. I love them so much. The shoe, like the old woman in the shoe. So those are fun. All right, so that was just a brief flip through of the World Within Worlds. So the next one that I want to share is Fragile World, and I think this one came out this year actually. Again, this is a Kirby Roseanne's book, and I love sea turtles, and so the sea turtle on the front cover is what caught my attention. So yes, this came out in 2021, so this year. And honestly, the first page that I will probably color will be the cover page, because I love sea turtles so much. There's so many good ones. I think every little layout, just the amount of details that go into these coloring books, even if you're not an advanced artist, the way that these coloring books are laid out, it's going to look fantastic. Whatever you do, it's going to look fantastic. You can see the sharks. Some of them are double page spreads, some of them are single page spreads. I, along with a lot of other people who like to color in these, wish that there was a version that was just a single-sided book, so that if I want to use my alcohol markers, that it wouldn't bleed through the other page. A lot of people who want to do that, they buy two versions of the book, so that on one version of the book they color the front sides, and then the second version of the book they color the back sides, so that they can still color each of the layouts. So that is something that I have seen. I'm not into buying two of the same book. If I want to use alcohol markers in one, I'll use alcohol markers in one, and then just make sure that I copy the back page onto a heavyweight cardstock. I'll stick that in my book so that I know I've got that for the next time. This was the sea turtle one that I was telling you about that I think I want to start with. So yes, lots of beautiful, detailed layouts. Again, another whale one that I think I'll copy for my kiddos to color to go along with their whale unit that they are currently learning about the whales on Disney Plus. So yes, there's that. Look at that cute little field mouse. Can you see that? Yeah, I think you can see that. So just a quick little flip through if you haven't seen the Kirby Roseanne's books. The other ones, I do want to get the other ones. I've been trying to hold off, but I really love his artwork. And so yes, I will be getting the other coloring books from Kirby Roseanne's. The next coloring book that I was excited about was the Johanna Basford Worlds of Wonder. And this is her newest coloring book. I have all of her previous coloring books, and I enjoy them and look forward to them every single time she comes out with a new one. And her artwork is the same way, where some of it is so detailed that I don't want to do it all in one sitting, just because it can be so much. And I think that you want to enjoy your coloring. You want to enjoy working on those layouts. And so I think you should take your time. And if you want to, like I said, work on the backgrounds or just work on a specific little house or a creature or specific details of that coloring book, then I think that's what you should do. That way you can actually enjoy what you're doing and not feel like it's a chore to get that coloring book or that coloring page done. I love this little town that she created here on this layout. Yes, there's, especially in like these types of layouts here, there's tons of opportunities for you to fill in the background however you choose. And I always love getting to see other people's artwork in how they complete their backgrounds. I always think like a really beautiful finished coloring page and just admiring how much time that took to finish. I really enjoy looking at other people's artwork of who has finished a coloring page. I love to use colored pencils and markers and gel pens and even crayons. Sometimes I get out my Crayola crayons and I like to do that too. Like this specific one, this one is very busy. There's a lot of details. So obviously this would be one that I would say, okay, today I'm going to focus on the leaves, or today I'm going to focus on the flowers, or the blueberries, or whatever specific detail that I've picked out for the day, and just work on that. So this is a very beautiful book. I'm so excited to start working in this one too. And then obviously she has a color palette test page that you can try. You can try different color combos. You can test your color pencils. You can see if whatever specific marker you're going to use, if it will bleed through the next page. You could do that as well. So yes, here's her other books that she has. I think you can see that. So Lost Ocean, Magical Jungle, Johanna's Christmas, Inky, Ivy and the Inky Butterfly, World of Flowers. I thought there was a few more. She has quite a bit, and they're so much fun to color in. So this is her newest one, Worlds of Wonder. And my favorite color is purple, so I love that it has purple on the cover on this book. So yes, there's that one. And then probably one of the ones that I am so stinking excited for is the Nickelodeon, the Splat coloring book. So it's coloring the 90s, which I grew up in the 90s. And so all of these, the majority of these cartoon pages that are in this book, I grew up watching as a kid. And so I'm really excited about coloring those. What are you guys working on tonight? I hope you're doing something creative. I hope that you're either coloring or doing some art, or maybe you're just watching me and then you're going to go color, or you're going to go create something. So I'm going to flip through this Nickelodeon, the Splat coloring book. I got this for my best friend too for her birthday. I just couldn't help myself. I saw it. It went in the cart. The minute I saw it, I had to have it. Okay, so coloring the 90s. So on one page, and I love this because in this specific book, if I want to use markers, I can because of the layout. And so let me get the back page. So on one side it has a quote from whatever cartoon it is. Like this is the Rugrats. So it has a quote on one page and then the coloring page on the other. So if I were to use alcohol markers on this page, the only thing it would do would bleed through to the quote page, which I don't really care about. I think it's fun to have in this this layout of this coloring book. Gives me the opportunity to use my alcohol markers. Happy, happy, joy, joy. That's from Ren and Stimpy. This is from Hey Arnold. Rocco's Modern Life. This one is one that I didn't watch, but I think it's from the Wild Thornberries. So this wasn't one that I watched, but I do recognize the artwork. This one is this one from the Rugrats too? Or I don't know. On the back it says the 90s were all that, so we're bringing them back. Your favorite childhood cartoons come together in this very grown-up coloring book. Ah, Real Monsters, The Angry Beavers, Cat Dog, Hey Arnold, The Ren and Stimpy Show, Rocket Power, Rocco's Modern Life, Rugrats, and The Wild Thornberries. So most of them I grew up watching, but there's a few of them that I didn't. This one is from Ah, Real Monsters. And then again, it does have the quote on the other side. So this is Cat Dog. I'm not sure on this one, but I think that's cute. Again, Repchar Roar. I know that one's from the Rugrats. Ren and Stimpy. And I love the little camper in the background. This one is from Hey Arnold. Rocco's Modern Life. And what I think will be really cool is to see if I can look up and find this specific scene somewhere and color it like that scene from the 90s. I think would be a lot of fun. This looks like the Wild Thornberries. I think this is probably Rocket Power. That wasn't one that I had watched. This is All Real Monsters. Cat Dog. Again, I'm not quite sure. That would be... I think this is the Angry Beavers. That would make sense. The Rugrats. Hey Arnold. And I think you can see this. Or do I need to scoot over a bit? So yes, you can see how adorable this coloring book is. And I'm super excited to get started and color something in here. I just have to pick out which one. I think I'll probably pick out one with the Rugrats on for my first layout, just because I thought that cartoon was so cute. Like this one. The quote says, "I haven't eated since the last time I eated." And that one's really funny because all my kids do is eat, and then once they're done eating, they want to eat some more. So this one I think is really funny. Ren and Stimpy. We've got another Hey Arnold. This is Rocco's Modern Life. The Wild Thornberries. I think, again, Rocket Power, Real Monsters, and that's it. So super fun, super excited to start working in this coloring book. And if you're like me, you can never have enough coloring books. I really think that that's a fun, stress-free, relaxing pastime, and I have always loved coloring. I still love coloring. So that is some of the new things that I have to show you. So I'm gonna get started playing around. I do have a couple of new palettes to try out, and swatch, and actually I might use those tonight. I'm not sure. I haven't quite decided what kind of watercolors I'm going to use tonight in my artwork, but excuse me, the one thing I have decided is that I'm going to paint, and I don't know what I'm going to paint, but I'm going to paint something. So if you want to get out your colors, if you want to get out your paints, if you want to whatever it is that you're working on, I'd love to hear what it is that you're working on tonight. So I'm gonna go ahead and start playing with some of my new art supplies that I haven't had a chance to play with. So I'm gonna try out these Neocolor ones. And since these are a water resistant wax pastel, that means that these will resist whatever I put on top as watercolors. All right, so I'm going to go in with the white, and I'm just going to start kind of scribbling here. And I'm holding my crayon really loose because I just want to play, and I don't really care what my end result looks like. I'm trying out my new supplies, and I'm having a good time. So that's what I am doing tonight. Let's see, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm gonna do one over here, and I'm just gonna scribbling in. This is the white, and so I can kind of see it on this paper, but I'm thinking it might be a little bit hard to see once I get color on, but you guys will be right there with me as I'm figuring out what works and what doesn't. So I'm just playing. I'm literally just scribbling on this page. All right, so that was the white. Let's see. Do I want to go in with another color? I don't think so. I think I'm just going to leave that and see how the white does for this layout. And I'm going to use some of my core watercolors because I love the vibrancy and the gusto of core watercolors, and you will see what I mean by that. It does not take a lot of paint. I am using a variety of silver brushes tonight. The Silver Silk 88s are one of my favorites. And then I also grabbed one of my black velvet brushes. So these are always usually one of my go-to brushes for when I'm doing watercolors. I always get asked what brushes do I recommend for beginners, and I always recommend the Silver Silk 88. They're one of my go-tos, and I really enjoy them because it's a great brush, but it's an affordable option. So there's that. All right, so I forgot to wet down my watercolors before I started, and My spray bottle is empty, so we're just gonna wet them here. And I think I'm gonna go with I take that back. Most of these are core watercolors. The Opera Rose or the Opera Pink, I believe, is a Daniel Smith. But it's also one of my favorite hot pinks, and I love to use it in the summer. So I'm just going to hold my brush and do plops of color. And you can see how that first layer of wax pastels that I laid down are resisting the watercolors that I'm using right now. And so I think that's a really cool effect, and one of the reasons why I originally bought these specific crayons. I think you can see that. I want to make sure you're seeing something. And there is no rhyme or reason to how I am plopping down this color. I'm literally just plopping down color. So if you would like to plop down color, go get your supplies and plop down color with me. I just wanted to give you guys a taste of what a color chat might be. Obviously, I'll be working on tons of things. I might be working on the coloring page that I sent out. I might be working on a sketchbook layout. I might be working on just whatever it is. There's a number of things, and I thought that would be fun to do together, to see what it is that you're working on. And the great thing about it is because it's virtual, you can do it from your camper, you can do it from your hotel room, you can do it with wherever it is that you are. This next color is also a Daniel Smith color that I believe is the Quinacridone Coral, I think, is the specific one. And I love the way this one looks with the hot pink. It is one of my favorite color combos. You can just see how cool that looks. And the camera, I'm looking at my computer, and it's showing a more orange on the screen, but it's a beautiful shade of coral, and one that I always love to have in a spring and summer palette, usually always, is the Quin Coral. I'm loving the resist that I'm getting here from these wax pastels, the Neocolor ones. So yes, I've got the Neocolor ones, I've got my watercolors, and then I'm going to go back in with my Neopastels to add another layer of dimension into my little sketchbook layout that I got going on here. There are no rules, so whatever you want to do. Again, I'm just sitting here, I'm playing tonight, but I wanted to pop on and show you guys some new stuff. So this one is a Quin Magenta, and if you can see here on my palette, I mixed that in with the rest of my Opera Pink that I had on my palette. Again, adding some little touches, and you can see, I don't know if you just saw that, but this Quin Magenta is from Golden. It's from their core watercolor line. And the cool thing about when you use two different brands of watercolors, the core watercolors will push the other watercolors kind of out of the way just because of the different binder that the core watercolors have, and I think it leads to really cool effects in your artwork. And so while the majority of my paints are from Golden, I do have a few favorite Daniel Smith colors that I love to add in my artwork just so that I can get that specific effect that I was just telling you guys about. And I'm just plopping color. I did scribbles, I'm plopping color. That's about as technical as I'm getting tonight with my artwork. I just wanted to sit down and I wanted to have some free time playing with my new art supplies. So I've got the Opera Rose or Opera Pink. I've got the Quin Coral, and then this was a Quin Magenta from Golden that I just used. So I think this layout needs some yellow. So this is, this yellow is again from the core line of paints. And I think I'm going to do a pop of yellow. I love doing yellow with the Opera Rose. It creates a really pretty orangey color in your artwork. So yes, I think it's super fun. If you're still with me on my little live video, my little impromptu live video tonight, I hope this inspires you to create something, or maybe you are painting along and coloring or working on something as I'm sitting here plopping color into my sketchbook to play with some of my new paints and my new supplies. That's one of my favorite things to do, to figure out how it is that I like to use a new art supply, is simply by playing. Just simply no expectations, just play. So yes, I'm adding little pops of yellow to each little flower here. Another little thing I like to do, I'm going to add some more Opera Pink in there, extra little punch. So yes, once this dries, sometimes I'll go over and add a second layer, a third layer, depending on how much I want that layer to kind of pop out from the page. So yes, the more, like I said, the more you get to play with your paints and your materials, the more you'll discover what it is you like to do. So I really love this Opera Pink. So I'm going to add some more of that to my flowers. And I'm not sure if you can see what I'm doing, but let me see. I think you can. Maybe my little camera on my computer might be just a little bit delayed than in real time. So I'm going to put this Opera Pink back onto my palette. Another thing that I love to do is add splatters in my artwork. And I just think that adds to the fun and whimsy of a beautiful layout in your art journal. And that's one reason why I love keeping an art journal, is because anytime I get something new, I'm playing with it in my art journal to see what it is I like about that specific art supply, how I'm going to use that art supply. You can see I've got some cool little blooms going on here. I can still kind of see where my wax pastels are. So I want to make sure, and I don't care if I cover the whole thing. I just want to make sure that these are kind of like loose abstract florals, And again, I wanted to have some fun playing with my new art supplies. And don't feel like you have to color in the whole image here. I'm going to go in, let's see, I think that's it. I think this is burnt sienna. That's not what I want. This one is transparent Pyro orange. Again, another golden color, core color. And I think my little abstract florals need a pop of that orange on some of the centers here. So I think you can still see what I'm doing. Looks like, yes, looks like my computer froze. So let me go back in and make sure I can see any comments that pop up, just so that I don't miss anything. I think I need some orange over here. Just look how bright and bold that is. Yes, so beautiful. I think I need some yellow splatter, because why not? We're gonna put some yellow here. Get some more yellow splatter. And I'll splatter in wet or dry paint. It obviously gives a different effect depending on where it is you splatter your paint. So just keep that in mind as you are working. So I've got kind of a harmonious color palette here. I've got the yellow, the hot pink, the coral, and then the Quin magenta, and I think I'm about done with my first layer that I have going on here. So any questions so far, I'm happy to answer those. And I haven't put in any leaves because I can go back in with my pens, I can go back in with my color pencils, and I can add those back in. Because I didn't put in leaves for in my wax pastel resist, I didn't put in leaves. So I'm just going back through, kind of playing, trying to see if I can define some loose petals in the spaces that don't have paint at the moment. Again, just playing, just coming up with this layout that I think is so fun, so whimsical, and just having some playtime. And I am mixing the magenta with the yellow to get this really light wash of a color that I'm going back in and adding to my flowers. And some of them I am going back in and kind of defining the loose petal, and some of them I'm adding kind of some new work around that flower. I love painting abstract florals. It's something that I really enjoy doing because you can't do it wrong. I mean, you can't do art wrong in the first place. But if you're wanting a rose to turn out like a rose and you're like, I don't know how to paint a rose, well, that's okay, because sometimes it doesn't need to look like a rose. Sometimes as long as you're happy with it, go with that. So I think I'm going to let this dry just a little bit so that I could go back in and kind of define some more layers of my art journal of this specific layout. And I love this mixture that I got from that yellow and then the magenta. So I'm making sure that I add a couple little paint splatters to my artwork with that color. So I'm going to let this dry just a bit, and I might go back in with some more, another layer of color. I might go back in with some of my Neocolor ones. I'm really dying to go back in with some of the oil pastels and use those as a pop of color on my artwork. I'm dying to take these out of the box and put them into something that is not in a box, that's just easier accessible to me. Okay, so I love the splatter that I have going on in the background. That's another thing about an art journal. You can leave some white space in your layouts. You can put some splatter in your layouts. You can go in and paint some leaves into your layouts. You can go back in and fill in your backgrounds. You can do whatever it is you like to do, because you are just having fun in your art journal. So now to decide, I think I want to add some pops of, let's see, do they even have names? Yes. So these are the Caran d'Ache Neopastels, and they do have names on them. So this one is Scarlet, and I think this needs a pop of red or scarlet. Can you even see what I just did? On my flowers. So I'm just going to go back in. These Neopastels, I have not used these before, but they are very creamy. There are a lot of, I can see that I'm really going to enjoy working with these. This one I am using is called Purple, but it's more of a, I wouldn't qualify this as a purple. It's more of like a magenta color. So I'm going back in and adding some definition to the center of my florals, just the middles of them. I think I want a pop of a deeper purple. This one is called Violet. On some of mine, let's see, that one's still kind of wet. This blue, I don't have any blue in my layout, but this blue is calling my name. This is turquoise blue. And I think that'll be fun to add a pop of turquoise blue to some of the centers of my flowers as something fun. Because if it's abstract, there is no wrong way to do it, now is there? And I think this blue is like so vibrant and cool. I don't know, I feel like this needs to be this needs to be on every flower. I really love this color. It's called Jade Green. I might have to use this on a leaf or a pop in one of the centers. I want to see what color this. Oh yeah, that's a pretty color. Really beautiful. Isn't this fun? I love having playtime in my art journal and playing with new supplies. That is one of my favorite things to do in the whole wide world, is play with art supplies. So yes, I'm just gonna keep on going, playing with some of these Neopastels, because I don't think I can stop playing with them. And while I'm waiting for a few more of my abstract florals to dry, so I can do that, I think this needs I'm making the centers just really colorful. And I think that's a lot of fun. I think I'm going to go in again with, I don't know if a yellow will show up, but this is called yellow. See, this is a wet spot and it went pretty well on there. So I think I'm happy with that. Maybe one more color over here. Maybe some of this. This is orange. Not really showing up in that spot. So maybe, maybe some more of that jade over here. These really pack a punch. I'm so super excited about these Neopastels. This lavender is called Mauve. I'll get some of that on there too because I need all the purple things. Okay, I think I'm happy with that. So I popped out the ones that I used. This is yellow. I used orange, scarlet, purple, mauve, violet, turquoise blue, and jade green. So those are the ones that I used on this specific layout. You can see that some of the centers of my flowers are still kind of wet, but I will be able to, go back in on some of my florals and do another layer of color to make it stand out from some of the rest. Maybe define some of the petals, go back in and work it that way. So again, I'm just playing. I'm having some fun time in my art journal, discovering some new supplies, and hi Weatherbeard. Discovering some new supplies and how those work. I love having new art supplies and sharing the joy of a new art supply and letting you guys know my first impressions on what I think, how it works, how it plays. This art journal that I am working in is watercolor paper, so I'm able to add lots of mediums on here. Lots of water on here. Let's see, I want maybe this. That scarlet color that I used in that Neopastel was really beautiful, and I want to add, using this palette, some pops of the closest color that I have in this specific palette. And I also think it's fun to hold your brush loosely or in a way that you wouldn't normally hold your brush to see what kind of different brush strokes you get, what kind of textures you get from your brush. Again, that's part of the learning and playing process. And I think it makes it really fun. So this is, I want to say this is just a Quin Red that I'm working in here now because I really loved that scarlet color that I used earlier from the Neopastels. So just going in here, making some It's abstract floral, but I'm making some definitions. I'm making some more sections of the florals pop and kind of look more defined in the space. So I think that's probably enough of the red. I do want to go back in and work in some of this yellow and deepen up some of the yellow bits, and put some more work in with the yellow on some of these florals. And some of them I just might go over what I've already got, and sometimes I might add a new section of yellow in over another color, like I'm doing here. I'm taking this yellow and going over some of that pink. This yellow is beautiful, so I'm leaving part of it showing from the first layer, and I'm deepening up part of. Any comments you guys are leaving? Any questions you guys might have? All right, I'm about done playing here. I think I say that, and then I'm going to go back in and add some more. Sometimes as an artist, you never know if you're done until you're done, or until your battery runs out on your phone, which my phone currently says it's dying. So I'm going to go back in with some more of this opera pink and some more of my petals over here. And just very loosely adding that into my floral. I'm super excited to see this when it's dry. And obviously when it's totally dry, I still might go back in and add some more, because that's when it gets really fun. I'm gonna add some more over here, kind of some more petal definition. I think this needs some more opera pink splatter right here, here, all the opera pink tonight. Okay, so I've got my other layer in there. Okay, so I'm gonna let this dry because I've still got a lot of water going on. I've got the second layers of the paint trying to dry at the moment. So I need to see what else it needs before I call this layout done. But this is just an example of what might happen on one of our color chats. The color chats will last an hour. Unless we really get going and talking and having a good old time, then obviously it might go a little bit longer. So I hope you've enjoyed hanging out with me tonight, going over some of our new stuff that we have coming to the shop, some of our new classes that I'm hosting via Zoom, and then just hanging out with me for just a little bit this evening. So I will see you guys the next time, and I hope you all have a great evening. Bye.